It's Friday, August 1st. This is CTV at 6. Here's what's making news tonight. Canada is hit with some of the highest U.S. tariffs. How will it impact the Maritimes? It's now cheaper to travel on the region's ferries and the Confederation Bridge.
More rain needed in the Maritimes, but it's sun and heat for the weekend and next week.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 6. Here is Todd Battis.
Good evening. There is no uncertainty now. Canada is being hit with some of the highest tariffs the White House has imposed on any country in the world. New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt wrote, "We are extremely disappointed," while Tim Houston of Nova Scotia is threatening action. CTV's Nick Moore reports.
The deadline has come and gone, and there is no deal. In locations such as St. John, which has already been tagged as the Canadian city most vulnerable to tariffs, local businesses are well aware that challenges are about to be kicked up a notch.
We're at a point now where, those inventory levels are probably starting to deplete, and we're going to have to start purchasing. And that's going to affect purchasing choices and investments. So there is going to be an effect. Exactly what it's going to be has yet to be seen.
Today's change means that a U.S. tariff of 35% is now in effect for Canadian exports, excluding products that fall under the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement. Seafood also appears to be excluded today. Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston said his government would not hesitate to implement retaliatory measures at the provincial level if they're needed, saying in a statement today that his government would continue to support the federal government in its negotiations. New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt also saying today, Canada has what the world wants, and we should not settle for anything less than the best deal for New Brunswickers.
I think we need to continue down this road.
Former Nova Scotia Premier Stephen McNeil says the Prime Minister, along with provincial and territorial leaders, need to remain united in the objective for a deal that is fair rather than meeting a deadline from Donald Trump.
I think it's a sign, quite frankly, that Canada hasn't given in. And he's trying to break us, I would suggest to you. And I think they need to stand firm.
Now, Prime Minister Mark Carney says he is still committed to getting a trade deal, but is focused on what can be controlled domestically, saying today that Canadians will be their own best customer. Todd.
CTV's Nick Moore starting us off from our Fredericton studio. Thank you, Nick. Okay, let's go to the website now, and we're asking in the web poll, how concerned are you about the impact of Trump's new tariffs on Canada? And your options are very concerned. I'm worried they will devastate the country. Somewhat concerned. I think some industries will suffer. Or not concerned. I don't think they'll be in place for long. Of course, you can vote at ctvnewsatlantic.ca. Another man has been charged in connection to a high-profile murder case in Cape Breton. Police announced 49-year-old Chris Anderson Neville has been charged with first-degree murder in connection with the shooting death of Jeff Pearson at his home in Whitney Pier in the early hours of February 22nd. Police say Neville was arrested yesterday in Halifax after an investigation identified him as a person they believe was responsible. 3 other men from out of province were also charged in connection to the murder. Neville was scheduled to appear in a Halifax courtroom today. Another teen was sentenced today in the killing of Ahmed Al-Marak in the Halifax Shopping Centre Parkade last April. His 27-month sentence includes 10 more months in jail before 17 months of supervision in the community. CTV's Callum Smith has the details.
The IRCS sentence, or Intensive Rehabilitative Custody and Supervision sentence, was imposed by Judge Mark Harima with 10 additional months of jail time starting today and is intended to address various mental health disorders. The teen was 16 years old at the time of Al-Marak's killing, and the judge determined he landed 15 kicks, mostly to Al-Marak's head while he was down, as well as numerous punches to the head, all part of a group assault, with the judge saying the teen's actions were cruel and displayed an incredible lack of humanity. The now 18-year-old's identity is protected by a publication ban, and a 3-year sentence was the maximum he could have received. He's been in custody since his arrest shortly after the April 2024 killing. Both the Crown and defense sought 27 additional months, but they differed on how much time should be in jail, with the Crown asking for a year and the defense seeking 3 months. Judge Harima said the boy wielded a knife to deter Almarock's friends from intervening to help. The judge expressed his sorrow to Almarock's family, acknowledging the deep loss they've suffered. He then spoke directly to the teen before sentencing him, saying the 18-year-old is at a fork in the road in his life after the senseless and merciless killing. He said while the teen pleaded guilty, he has adopted a pro-criminal lifestyle and asked if he's simply trying to say the right things for court when he suggested he'd be open to treatment, or if he's actually willing to make change in his life. A DNA order and a 5-year firearms prohibition were also issued. Again, Todd, 3 other teens have already been convicted in Almarock's death. A girl was sentenced on a manslaughter charge, and after serving the jail portion of her sentence, allegedly breached her release conditions, leading her back to court later this month. Sentencing for the teen convicted of manslaughter for killing Almarock is ongoing, while sentencing for the final teen found guilty of manslaughter by a judge will take place in October. Todd.
All right, Callum continuing his reporting from the courthouse in Halifax. On our website, we have details of a man arrested at a Dartmouth playground for allegedly possessing child pornography. And that report is at ctvnewsatlantic.ca. As of today, tolls are reduced on Atlantic Canada's ferries and the Confederation Bridge. As CTV's Ryan McDonald tells us, while some travelers seem to agree that saving money is a win, communities wonder whether they'll see the benefits.
It's the first day that fares are half the price they used to be for the ferry between North Sydney and Newfoundland. And for one couple getting on the boat today, the timing couldn't have been better.
We're moving to Newfoundland from Ontario.
While everyday passengers get to take advantage of the 50% price reduction, it doesn't apply to commercial traffic. Instead, truckers' rates are being frozen going forward.
We already paid for it, prepaid for it, and we actually got a refund on my visa.
What do you think of that?
I think it's fantastic.
There's things that need to be changed in order for our area, North Sydney, Sydney Mines, to be able to gain the benefits of all these tourists coming in.
This North Side area councillor says while the lower cost is great for travelers, himself included, he would like to see more done to direct visitors into the communities that are immediately off the ferry, rather than those areas getting bypassed as soon as vehicles hit the highway.
And have like maybe a taxi company service them for a couple hours while they're there to go to the Atlantic Memorial Park, Fossil Centre, Monroe Park, those areas within the District 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're really affected by the ferry schedule. Like, even during the times where the ferries weren't running, we really noticed a really big difference.
Today is also the first day that the ferry between Nova Scotia and PEI is half price, and the Confederation Bridge toll is down to $20. The owner of this craft brewery in Montague, not far from the Wood Islands ferry, says a lot of island businesses stand to benefit.
Especially, seeing people traveling in the shoulder season. I think we're seeing more people traveling in general.
Back at the Newfoundland ferry, there was a similar sentiment about what this might mean for visitorship to the Rock.
People now will be able to go to Newfoundland more often.
Unlike the Newfoundland ferry, the PEI ferry rate reductions apply to all traffic, including truckers. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, North Sydney, Nova Scotia.
There's a look at downtown Moncton right now towards Dieppe, where it's currently 21 degrees. Let's get our first look at the forecast. For that, of course, we bring in CTV meteorologist Kayla Mitchell. A nice day and a better-looking weekend.
Yeah, a pleasant evening around the Maritimes. Most temperatures currently sitting between 20 and 25 degrees, except on the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia, where they are mostly between 17 and 19. Lower level of humidity around the Maritimes as well. Winds generally light, mostly from the north and northeast at the moment, being sustained in most cases between 5 and 15 kilometers per hour. A few locations with winds closer to 20, including currently at the Charlottetown Airport. A few gusts being reported between 20 and 30. Winds will continue to get lighter as we make our way through this evening and tonight, and then change direction a little bit for tomorrow with a west and northwest wind developing across the Maritimes. Over on satellite imagery, we have some cloudiness that continues to clear east of the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. Clear or clearing conditions in the forecast for this evening and tonight, which makes it an ideal one to do a little bit of stargazing or night sky viewing if you wanted to do so. Here's a couple things you can see in the night skies tonight around the Maritimes. It's a first quarter moon, so it's 51% illuminated. It'll be setting towards the southwestern horizon throughout this evening. If you are up very early tomorrow morning, you can spot the planets Venus and Jupiter rising above the northeastern horizon in the pre-dawn hours. And don't forget the Perseids meteor shower is still active. Now, the radiant point is near the constellation Perseus, which will be located high above the northeastern horizon. Near and after midnight, the peak of that meteor shower is still predicted to be a little bit later on this month, though. Todd, coming up the August 12th, 13th time frame. We've already heard from a couple of people who spotted a couple of those Perseids meteors.
Always a good show.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kalen. We'll see you for the full forecast in about 16 minutes. There are now 44 cases of measles in Nova Scotia. A child is in stable condition at the IWK Health Centre due to the virus. There are no new public exposure sites, and previously reported exposures are now beyond the period of time which symptoms would normally appear. Although Nova Scotia Health anticipates more cases, officials insist the risk to the public remains low. The family of the man who went missing last week while kayaking off Shediac has announced they have recovered his body. The remains of Luc Bourgeois were found yesterday as family members continued their search for the 34-year-old in the Northumberland Strait. In an online post, his mother wrote, quote, "We are extremely saddened but beyond relieved that he has been found. Our hearts are shattered in millions of pieces." The discovery came days after the RCMP ended its search. Luc Bourgeois leaves behind a 7-year-old son. It looks like Halifax Regional Council is starting the process of backing down on bike lanes for Morris Street in the city's downtown. Next week, Council will vote on a motion to reverse course on that decision, which you'll remember raised the ire of the Premier. CTV late anchor Bruce Frisco joins us. Bruce, you've been looking at the details here. This is quite a reversal.
It sure is, Todd. And I don't have to tell you, the battle over bike lanes has been ongoing for months now, with Mayor Andy Fillmore urging his council colleagues to pump the brakes on expanding the increasingly expensive but previously approved bike network. He was outvoted on a number of motions, including Morris Street, which would have to be converted to a one-way street to make room for the bikes. Well, that decision caught the attention of the mayor, who took the unusual step of weighing in on another government's jurisdiction. He wrote a very public letter arguing this was a terrible idea because it would increase traffic congestion, he said. And he essentially gave HRM a deadline to fix it, or presumably he would. So now the city's CAO, Kathy O'Toole, has written to the mayor recommending council reverse the earlier decision and explore other options for Morris Street. O'Toole makes no secret her motion is at least partly based on the mayor's threat. I'm quoting here: failure to rescind the July 8th decision would create additional financial and reputational risk for the municipality and be damaging to intergovernmental relations with the province of Nova Scotia. That's all in the motion, which Andy Fillmore will present to council on Tuesday. And of course, nothing is ever free, right? HRM will save some money on specific design costs for Morris Street, but will have to incur other planning and design costs, estimated to be worth between $100,000 and $300,000. And of course, that work is ongoing, Todd.
All right. Interesting. Bruce Frisco, live in the newsroom with us tonight. Of course, Bruce is back at 11:30. The Halifax Bridge is closing on the weekend. This time, though, it's only for a few hours, and it's not for construction. The McDonald Bridge will close for several hours this Sunday morning for 2 community events. It closes at 7 ahead of the Mac Pass Miles race at 9. Then the Bridge Walk event will be held. The free, family-friendly event runs from 2 to 4 in the afternoon. The bridge will reopen to vehicle traffic at 5. Of course, cyclists and walkers can still cross the McDonald Bridge throughout it all.
Maritimes top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
There was some welcome news in Moncton today with an announcement of new housing units. They're badly needed in a city with growing homelessness. CTV's Derek Haggett has the details.
Compared to the need, this wasn't a massive announcement, but it certainly was a significant one to tackle demand for affordable housing.
We've got 3,500 people on the wait list here in Moncton alone, of the 13,000 people across the province. The need is certainly acute in Moncton, but we're seeing it across the province in ways we have never seen before.
2 brand new 8-unit public housing developments are slated to open soon in Moncton. Tenants will receive 24/7 on-site support for services like employment, mental health, and primary health care.
Having a safe home gives you the chance to breathe, to grow, and to feel like you have a place in this world and to know that you are valued and cared for.
The developments are part of a larger project by the New Brunswick Housing Corporation, which commissioned nonprofit group Rising Tide to build 5 8-unit housing developments throughout the city.
I mean, Moncton is the epicenter for homelessness in the province. I know there's issues in St. John and Fredericton and other municipalities, even small places like St. Stephen, but no, this is the ground zero for homelessness in the province.
Moncton has been experiencing a homelessness crisis since before the pandemic. Estimates say there are close to 500 people without somewhere to call home.
I hear about it all the time. My office is on St. George. We see it all the time. So any step, any move forward is huge for us.
Work on 127 more public housing units around the province is ongoing at 13 different sites. The 8-unit building behind me here on West Main Street isn't quite ready for tenants yet, but the province says it should be ready for people to move in by the fall. Todd.
All right, Derek, in downtown Moncton, thank you. It was on this day in 1834 slavery was abolished throughout the British Empire. Emancipation Day was recognized with several events in Nova Scotia. The Declaration 191 years ago freed about 800,000 enslaved people of African descent in British-controlled lands around the world. Today, the Pan-African flag was raised at Province House, and a ceremony at the waterfront followed. Dignitaries and community leaders acknowledged the painful history and reflected on the significance of freedom.
I'm just delighted to see so much interest in us pausing. It's time to pause, time to remember, time to reflect, but it's also a time for us to really sort of look to the future. So what do we want to do? What do we need to do? And how do we work together to do those things?
Through their remarks, dignitaries also reflected on how African Nova Scotian communities shaped the province, ending with a call to action encouraging everyone to be part of the work that lies ahead. Time for our first break on this Friday evening. Still to come, Kaylin has a good-looking long weekend forecast. But next, teaching new Maritimers how to swim.
When they're a child, they learn quickly and they feel comfortable being in the water.
Many immigrants don't have experience on or near the water. Now there's an effort to change that. Stay with us. A long weekend and hot weather, a perfect mix for the beach. But many Canadians new to the country who call the Maritimes home don't know how to swim. It's something life-saving groups are working to change. Here's Emma Convey.
Jessica Yolaris watches over her children with ease as they catch fish at Chocolate Lake in Halifax.
I feel safe and comfortable, and I know that they're going to be okay because they know how to swim.
Jessica swims 4 times a week herself. And after growing up with swimming lessons in Peru, when she moved to Canada 13 years ago, it was important that our children learn those skills as well.
When they are in young age, they feel more comfortable. It's not like when you're a grown-up and you're a little afraid. But when they're a child, they learn quickly and they feel comfortable being in the water.
And it's a skill that saves lives, but not everyone has learned it.
We know that new Canadians are a population that is at risk of drowning. There's a few theories behind that. Obviously, the availability of swimming lessons in their country of origin.
Many of them come from landlocked countries with no ocean and no lakes, and so water is a new thing to them. And so their opportunities before they came here were limited.
These teams want to change that.
We have our Swim to Survive program. You have a sudden entry into the water, you tread water, you swim 50 meters. That's aimed at preventing drowning.
The YWCA is another group working to break down barriers for new Canadians.
For a lot of our participants or those that we're working with, just getting into classes and finding classes that are available in their area of the city without having to travel so much. but also culturally appropriate access to swimming and to locations.
Gregoire says we are seeing a concerning trend in drownings.
For the last 5 years that we have data for, which is from 2018 to 2022, we're at 30 drownings or above, and that's per year for 5 years in a row, and that's a bit worrisome.
With a busy beach season already here, these experts remind everyone to swim where lifeguards are present, watch your children, wear a life jacket, avoid water when intoxicated, and use common sense. Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
Plenty of sunshine and some heat for the long weekend. Kaylin has the details. We'll have that for you after this break. Queen Street, Charlottetown, still 20 degrees at 26 minutes after 6 o'clock on a beautiful Friday evening. Charlottetown, always a great place to be.
Looks bustling on Queen Street there, huh?
Yeah.
People out there enjoying this nice weather.
It's a great town to be in any time, but the long
sure
weekend.
is.
The long weekend's always great.
Oh, so many nice spots in the Maritimes, though, and got the weather for it this weekend.
And this may be the place in the country to be this weekend. I know Ontario's had that heat that they've been dealing with.
Yeah.
And of course,
air quality
Western
issues,
Canada,
other spots. Yeah.
Lots of smoke.
Yeah.
And the weather's really, the temperatures have cranked up. Look at that.
Yeah, they're really starting to fire up there. You can see in through parts of the prairies. We've got 30 degrees this hour at Saskatoon and Winnipeg at 26. Much of Manitoba underneath air quality warnings. There's actually heat warnings out for large parts of the prairies as well. Severe thunderstorm watch in the interior of BC. Temperatures a little bit more moderate towards the south coast of BC. You can see 21 at Victoria and 24 degrees at Vancouver. Now moving off towards the east, there's some heat that's going to begin to redevelop in parts of southern Ontario and southern Quebec over the next couple of days. But currently it's pretty pleasant. 25 at Toronto, 22 at Ottawa, and 23 at Montreal. It's also 23 at Fredericton this hour. We've got 20s at Halifax and Charlottetown, and 18 degrees at St. John. So pretty pleasant evening on the Avalon Peninsula. Taking a look at our timeline for cloud cover and precipitation, continued clearing of the cloud cover that is present for both Nova Scotia. A little bit of broken cloudiness as well around parts of PEI. As we make our way towards midnight, that's as an area of high pressure moves in from the west, which will be in place for the start of the long weekend. So for Saturday, and it's going to give us very sunny conditions throughout the day for Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and much of central and southern areas of New Brunswick, with a little bit of cloud cover developing in the afternoon with a low chance of a spotty shower in northern areas of New Brunswick. Though for any given community up north, even like say Campbellton, I'd put the chances of a shower at around 20% or so. A few clouds expected to be around for Saturday evening and Saturday night. Similar weather conditions in the forecast for Sunday. Just temperatures, they start to tick up a little bit. Gets a little bit hotter for Sunday, and there will be a chance of a shower or thunderstorm for northern areas of New Brunswick Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. Winds for tomorrow will be mostly out of the west and the northwest and sustained between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour. A few gusts between 20 and 40. It'll be a southwest wind developing for both Sunday and Monday. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight in the province of New Brunswick, falling into a range of 6 to 11 degrees, mostly between 10 and 12 degrees for Prince Edward Island, and a lot of lows for Nova Scotia tonight between 9 and 14. Highs in the forecast for tomorrow, communities in the north of New Brunswick up to the low 20s mostly, 24 at Bathurst, Miramichi, and 22 at Grand Falls and Perth Andover, 25 at Fredericton for tomorrow, 25 at Grand Manan, and 23 at St. John, 24 degrees for Moncton in the southeast. For Prince Edward Island on Saturday, we've got highs near 23 for O'Leary and Summerside, 24 at Cavendish, 21 at Montague, and 20 at Surrey. In Cape Breton, high temperatures 20 to 22 degrees, including 22 around Badek and Port Hawkesbury. Also near 22 on the north shore of mainland Nova Scotia, and on the eastern shore, highs between 20 and 22 degrees. A little bit warmer for Truro in the forecast for Saturday. High temperature up to around 25, where it'll be 23 for the city centers, Halifax and Dartmouth, and then 20 around Chester and Lunenburg. Warm through the Annapolis Valley. High temperatures there for 25 degrees. And on the south shore of Nova Scotia, 21 at Liverpool and Shelburne, as well as 21 degrees for Yarmouth in the southwest. And again, a lot of sunshine and a light northwest wind. Taking a look at the 7-day outlook, which will take us, of course, through the upcoming long weekend into next week. For New Brunswick on Sunday, got isolated shower or thunderstorm. It's mostly for northern parts of the province. And then on Monday for New Brunswick, the chance of a shower or thunderstorm afternoon and evening becomes a little bit more widespread, but still relatively low for any specific location. About a 30% chance, mostly driven by a little bit of returning heat and humidity. Tuesday, a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures cool a couple of degrees, but then heat returns Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. Highs in the high 20s, may even be pushing up into low 30s. For Nova Scotia, in the outlook, coming up on Sunday, it's sunshine. High temperatures will be around the mid to high 20s. High 20s on Monday, except more moderate temperatures on the Atlantic coastline. Lots of sunshine. Mix of sun and cloud in the forecast for Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, and actually for Thursday and Friday as well. And you can see basically hotter summertime temperatures in the forecast and very little rain, which of course we could really use. And for Prince Edward Island in the forecast, it is sunshine for Sunday. High temperature near 26, up to 28 on Monday. Low chance of a spotty shower. Cools a little bit Tuesday, down to 24 degrees, but then the high temperatures come back up towards mid to high 20s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week, Todd.
Okay, we'll see you towards the end of the show, Caleb. Thank you. Up next, Liam Neeson and Pam Anderson reboot The Naked Gun. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Time to go to the movies. Our guide, CTV film critic, the pride of Liverpool, Nova Scotia, Richard Krause. And Richard, given the temperatures in Toronto, being on the South Shore probably sounds pretty good right now.
Sure does. Yeah, it's been an absolute inferno up here. It's broken today. Today is all right. I may actually leave the house, but it has been terrible here.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, a cozy, air-conditioned theater might be just the place for folks this weekend. Let's jump right into our first offering. It's The Naked Gun.
And you, Frank, are the best of the best.
Over here, Lieutenant. I think someone murdered my brother.
Please, take a chair.
Thank you.
Oh, I love it. Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson, lots of cheesy comedy. Is this a remake? Is this something new? What is this?
I would say it's a reboot of the franchise that ended 31 years ago. Leslie Nielsen, of course, best known in that franchise for playing Detective Frank Drebin, who was the very serious but very bumbling elite member of the police squad. Now it's Liam Neeson stepping into the role of Frank Drebin Jr. And, you know, we haven't seen Liam Neeson do a great deal of comedy. He's made 50 films, probably more than that. And I had to look, there's 5 comedies spread throughout all of that. So we haven't seen him be funny on screen very often. We're used to seeing him as a dramatic actor, and that's what works so well about this film. Just as Leslie Nielsen had that deadpan, straight, dramatic flair, but would do these absurd things, Liam Neeson has stepped into that role, and he does it expertly. Pamela Anderson, also very funny in this. And, you know, if you don't like a joke, don't worry about it, because this thing is so densely packed with gags that if you don't laugh at one, 4 seconds later, there's going to be another one that you'll probably laugh at. It's a very funny, very, very absurd film, and I enjoyed it. It's like a 4 out of 5 star movie for me. It was great to go back to the theaters and actually see a full-on comedy, which they just haven't been making for the last little while and releasing in theaters.
I don't know what the age disparity was, say, between Liam Neeson and Leslie Nielsen, but it kind of feels like this comes at the same point in each of their careers.
Maybe so, yeah. I mean, Leslie Nielsen had been kicking around Hollywood for a very long time, made a lot of movies, was a lot of episodic television, but he was always the straight man, the captain on the Poseidon, you know, in the Poseidon Adventure, that kind of thing. And so when he started doing comedy, it came as such a shock. And that's where the gold was in those performances. And it kind of feels that way with Liam Neeson, too.
Okay, our second one is also a comedy. Here's a look at The Bad Guys 2.
Not everyone believes it, but the bad guys went good. And we cannot wait for society to welcome us with open arms.
Aren't you a notorious criminal?
Yes. No. Maybe. Sorry, nerves.
All right, this one's got a great cast.
This one does have a great cast. That's Sam Rockwell playing Mr. Wolf, the head of the bad guys. And they were international thieves who would do these very elaborate heists. But at the beginning of this movie, number 2, they've gone straight. They don't want to break the law anymore. But then they're framed for a crime and blackmailed into doing one last heist by another female gang of baddies. And these movies are kind of funny. I mean, I like them. They are meant for kids, but there's enough stuff there for adults. I think that parents will enjoy this as well. But they're stylish. They have amazing soundtracks. The soundtrack feels like it came from like a 1966 Matt Helm movie or something like that. Terrific stuff. And great voice work from Aquafina and Mark Maron and Craig Robinson, Anthony Ramos, Sam Rockwell, and Richard Ayoade, who is amazing in this as sort of the evil mastermind. So Bad Guys 2 gets a good rating from me for parents and for kids.
Okay, good. Finally, I'm not sure what to call this. Is it a comedy or a thriller or a horror?
Well, it rides a lot of different lines, I'll tell you.
So this is a clip of Together.
I think something's happening to us.
Listen to me. We've got to get out of here.
Okay, explain this one.
Okay, I'm not going to give everything away that happens here, but it stars Dave Franco and Allison Brie, married in real life, as a couple who moved from New York City to upstate New York so that she can take a teaching job. While they're out on a hike in the country, they fall in a big hole, and something happens to them that makes them feel more attached to one another. I will tell you that. I will tell you that this is kind of a rom-com with body horror in it. It is hilariously horrific by times. I got a real kick out of this movie because I thought that the relationship on screen was really bolstered by their relationship off screen. It feels authentic. And then all these like absolutely bizarro world things happen. And horror movies, the most effective ones that I've seen recently, do something new. Do something I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
This one did something I hadn't seen before. It's called Together, and it's in theaters now.
Okay, do any of them have the jam to upend Superman in the Fantastic Four?
I don't think so. I mean, these will all do, fairly well. But what we're looking at here are movies that didn't cost a whole lot of money to make. And that's kind of the key here. I think that we are so caught up on the idea that a film's got to make $400 million in its first couple of weeks. But I would imagine that a film like Together cost $50 million to make. So the need for it to really make a huge return on its money is much lessened. So I'm hoping that these movies get a good life in theaters, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in theaters so that people can check them out. But no, I don't think we're going to see them topple either the Fantastic Four or Superman.
Okay, all right. Anyway, some good offerings for the long weekend. Have a great weekend. I hope the heat breaks in central Canada for you.
Me too, because I don't like the heat.
A Maritimer at heart. There we are. Richard Krause. Thanks for being with you. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Thanks.
More entertainment with The Scene after this. In health news tonight, Canada's first case of West Nile virus for 2025 has been detected. CTV's Stephanie Seacos has that story and more in tonight's edition of The Lifeline.
A study published in the journal Nature is sounding the alarm about how outdoor air pollution may be raising the risk of lung cancer in non-smokers. People who have never smoked account for about 25% of lung cancer cases, and this study looked at 871 such individuals from 4 continents. After evaluating where people lived, how much polluted air they were likely breathing over time, and their health histories, researchers found that breathing more polluted air made certain DNA changes up to 2.5 times more likely. These changes occurred in the genes that help fix damaged genetic material, making it easier for cancer to develop. U.S. kindergarten vaccination rates inched down again last year, and the share of children with exemptions rose to an all-time high, according to new data. The fraction of kids exempted from vaccine requirements rose to 4.1%, up from 3.7% the year before. It's the 3rd record-breaking year in a row for the exemption rate, and the vast majority are parents withholding shots for non-medical reasons. The vaccination numbers were posted as the U.S. experiences its worst year for measles spread in more than 3 decades, with more than 1,300 cases so far. As the new school year approaches, so does peak asthma season. Asthma flare-ups can be triggered in the fall as allergens start to come out. That plus viral infections spreading in classrooms can add extra challenges. But experts say there are ways to keep those living with asthma safe.
Number one is having an asthma action plan, so that if their asthma starts acting up, then teachers or parents and kids know exactly what to do.
Students should also keep an inhaler handy, take controller medications, and know their triggers. The Public Health Agency of Canada says this year's first human case of West Nile virus acquired within the country has been confirmed in Toronto. Toronto Public Health says the person is an adult and has no travel history. The virus is transmitted to humans through infected mosquitoes. Symptoms usually begin between 2 and 14 days after a mosquito bite and can include fever, headache, nausea, body aches, and swollen lymph glands. With health and medical news, I'm Stephanie Seacos for The Lifeline.
It's Friday night. We're on the scene with Katie Kelly, and Halifax is getting ready to strut its stuff.
That's right, Todd. Halifax Fashion Week returns. The event runs August 10th to 17th, bringing together runway shows, pop-up markets, cultural events, and industry mixers. This year's theme, Blueprint, designing a sustainable future through fashion. It celebrates style with a focus on sustainability, individuality, and community. Local and international designers will showcase their work. The week also includes mental health awareness events, a beach potluck, and the prestigious Icon Awards honoring leaders in Atlantic Canada's fashion industry. For tickets and the full lineup, you can head to online.
All right, looks good. The St. John waterfront turning into one big stage this weekend.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, as Area 506 Festival returns. Celebration of music, culture, and East Coast spirit runs Friday through Sunday, featuring performances from top Canadian and local artists, along with food trucks, art installations, and the Container Village Marketplace. This year's lineup promises something for everyone, from rock and indie to hip-hop and folk, drawing crowds from across the Maritimes. And with the festival set against St. John's scenic harbor backdrop, it's as much about the atmosphere as it is about the music. For tickets and the full schedule, you can go online.
It's unbelievable. That place has really just brought back the waterfront.
It's so cool. I've only got to go to Area 506 once, but I will definitely be going again.
It's a great spot.
Awesome.
Canadian Country Music Award nominees are in.
Yes, and there's a couple of Maritimers on the list. Walker from Prince Edward Island is up for Video of the Year for her song Ride It Out. She's also nominated for Innovative Campaign of the Year. Joining her on the nominee list, Cameron Nickerson from Yarmouth, who is recognized in the Innovative Campaign category for this Wheels of Steel cross-country music journey. The CCMAs will be handed out September 13th in BC. We want to say big congrats to our local nominees. Ali Walker is the one that plays the bagpipes. I know you love her. And Cameron Nickerson, also an amazing local artist. So I'm sure we'll chat with them both again soon.
Country bagpipes. A final reminder about our contest.
Yes. Here's who you could see live.
Hey y'all, it's Kane Brown. I'll see you at the YQM Country Fest on August 21st. Grab your tickets so you don't miss out. Hey y'all,
or you could win them right here. CTV and YQM Country Fest want you to enjoy some country in the city. Some of the biggest names in country music are headed for Dieppe, New Brunswick this summer, like you just saw him, Kane Brown. Also Jelly Roll and Luke Bryan, and so many more are going to hit that stage at YQM Country Fest. It's on from August 21st to 23rd. One lucky viewer will win a YQM Country Fest prize package, which includes 4 VIP tickets, 3 nights at Delta Hotel's Beau Séjour in Moncton, a $200 St. James Gate gift certificate, and a $100 Shell gas card. To enter, scan the QR code on your screen. This is the last time you're going to see it. Or go to ctvatlantic.ca and follow the contest prompts. The contest ends Saturday at 6 p.m.
Okay, let's leave that board up there for a second. I have a challenge for you. Find that hat. Come back from YQM with that hat.
Okay, I think I can do that. There's a few hats there. I thought you were going to make me get out my phone and scan the thing, and I was panicking because my phone's not out here. Anyway, you should grab your phone and scan the thing.
They should. You just bring back the hat. Thank you.
Okay, I got you.
See you next week. Here's what's on TV tonight. The Dow wrapped the week with a pretty rough day. It was down 542 points. The North American markets dropped today because investors reacted to the new tariffs out of Washington. Here's Morella Fernandez with details.
A few big Canadian companies have reported their earnings this week, including Enbridge. Enbridge operates pipelines. It pulled in about $2.2 billion in its last quarter, more than $30 million more than it made in the same quarter last year. And the company CEO says he's optimistic about Ottawa wanting to advance energy projects. Here's how the trading day ended. The Canadian dollar is up today to $72.50. West Texas Intermediate dropped almost $2 to $67.33. Our fix on Western Canadian Select has it down to 56.25. And the TSX dropped 239 points, ending the day just above 27,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
All right, well, the news is much better when it comes to the forecast, Caleb.
Yeah, it's cleared up nicely here in the north end of Halifax after a fair amount of cloud cover was present, at least for the first part of the day. It's cool, a little breezy, but we know the temperatures are headed up as we move through the upcoming long weekend. Let's take a look at our view picture for tonight, and our picture is a beautiful sunset set in from the last day of July. This was yesterday's sunset, from Marge and Mark Diamond from Georges River in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. We're in the forecast for tomorrow. It's going to be a sunny day and a high temperature near 20 degrees. Starting off tomorrow for our day planner in the morning, should be a pretty bright start across all three maritime provinces. Morning temperatures high single digits and low teens, so a little bit cool first thing in the morning, and then moving into the afternoon, remaining mostly sunny for much of the Maritimes. A little bit of cloud cover developing in the northern areas of New Brunswick, and very low chance of a spotty shower there afternoon into evening, about a 20% chance. Most high temperatures tomorrow in the Maritimes will be coming up towards the low to mid 20s. That'll be accompanied by a west and northwest wind. It'll be sustained between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour, with a few gusts between 20 and 40. After that, as we talked about earlier, both Saturday and Sunday, most high temperatures climb up towards the high 20s, just remaining a little bit more moderate for some parts of the coast, and plenty of sunshine basically all the way through, Todd.
Kalen, I'm going to get up early for the Perseid meteor shower, 3, 4 in the morning. If I see any, I'll call you. Midnight
to 3, 4 in the morning. Take your time, Todd. Might need a couple hours out there.
All right. You have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Finally tonight, in our region, we know a thing or two about potatoes, right? Did you know the modern potato evolved from a tomato? Scientists say the evolution of potatoes from a wild tomato occurred 9 million years ago. The modern-day potato got its start in the Andes Mountains before becoming a key crop, of course, that the world depends on. But its lineage has remained largely a mystery. Now biologists have traced the origins to a chance encounter millions of years ago involving an unlikely plant relative, the tomato. Scientists now say that both plants are originally split off from a common ancestor plant about 14 million years ago. That publish, as confusing as it might be, was published today. That study, rather. All right. It's got to be the weekend. That is our look at the day here at home. Bruce Frisco has the next newscast tonight. Our reporting will be on the web this weekend. We're going to leave you in Halls Harbor with the names of everyone who brings you your local news. We're back Tuesday at 6. Till then, have a good night.
CTV News, the Maritimes' #1 newscast.